Hello and welcome to another episode of Down the Track. Today we will be reviewing the match between Chennai Super Kings and Delhi Capitals. Lackluster performance by the Super Kings. Delhi, on the other hand, looking pretty good. What are your initial thoughts, Musti? I have with me, of course, Musti, who is the main guy, the host. Mera host, mera dost, Musti.
Thank you so much for your lovely introduction. But first of all, commiserations on the loss uh, for the Chennai Super Kings. Initial thoughts, I think they're really missing Raina and Raidu, man. They're really missing them because there's a lot of pressure on the likes of Faf and Watson to a certain extent, but the opening pair is not working. Like we mentioned, Murli Vijay in particular has been poor, but they're really missing those two players. With the ball, I think the Jadeja has been a big worry. He's getting hit for 10, 11 and over. We saw that in the last game in Sharjah. And then again today, same problem. He's getting hit in the middle overs. Did you see how the Delhi bowlers bowl their spinners?
In comparison.
Yeah, one went like 4.5 runs per over, one went 5.5 runs per over. So
and Akshar Patel got the wicket. Mishi didn't get a wicket, but he was very economical.
Very economical. And someone like Amit Mishra, like you might target him. Chawla picked up a couple of wickets for Chennai, but like Jadeja was getting spanked on the other end. I think that was where the game was won.
Right.
But also credit to the Delhi batsmen. Shaw and Dhawan, they were struggling. It was a slow pitch. It wasn't an easy pitch to bat on, but they made sure they had wickets in hand. And then after the seventh, eighth over, they launched a bit.
Right.
And after that, even when Iyer and Punt came, you could see they couldn't hit every ball, but they played sensibly according to the situation. I think that was very important. It was very easy for them to lose their way. But Shaw's innings, I think, was incredible considering the pitch and conditions.
Absolutely, I think for them to get to 175 after on a slowish surface, so to say, was incredible. And then, of course, they started off well with Akshar Patel really in a couple of overs in the power play, and then Rabada and just the bowling unit in general was pretty good. They were solid. No one really, except for maybe Avesh Khan, who went for I think 10 and over in terms of his economy. But apart from that, everyone else was very good. And credit to this bowling unit. I mean, yes, Chennai is lacking up the order. I think the top three of you guys are very important. Even if one of your top three is not up to the mark, I think it becomes very difficult because that start is what really counts. I think in T20 cricket. So Murli Vijay, like you said, is struggling. I think they have to reconsider that option. Of course, Watson is also struggling to an extent, but Watson can come good and one big innings, and then Watson's really in there. And Faf has been doing well, but yeah, like you said, it would have been so good for them to have Raina, because they can actually open with Faf and Watson, and then they have Raina one down, which is perfect. I think they might consider doing that when Raidu comes back, because Gaikwad and Murli Vijay are not working, and you don't need to have Jaddu coming in at 8. I think Jaddu is a better batsman than that. He can come in at 7 also. So you can go Fafin, Watson to open, Raidu at 3. You play maybe Sam Curran or someone at 4 because you like to play him there, or maybe even Jadhav. Then you have Jadhav at 4, Curran at 5, Dhoni at 6, and Jaddu at 7. That's still a decent lineup as well. They have to work around that. Of course, I understand that completely, but they have to see what they can do. Maybe another middle order batsman they can try out. I don't know who they have in their ranks, but maybe try out somebody else, because something needs to change. I mean, Murli Vijay is not working. Gaikwad in the middle is not working. Maybe start with Gaikwad. I don't know. We'll have to see how they go about that.
Yeah.
So something for them to do for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually prefer seeing Dhoni at 4, but depending on the situation. But because I think if he wants to consume balls, then he can. And then you can have the likes of Karan and Jadeja come and tonk it. But at least Dhoni coming at 4, if he can rotate the strike, that will help, because the likes of Rituraj, he's talented, but right now he's struggling. I think he's like a lot of nerves there. So someone like Dhoni, experienced, if he can nurdle the ball around, give the other batsman the strike, I think that'll help a lot. But like you said, Raina and Raidu, Raina, he's not there. You can't do anything about it. But Raidu got injured. I think that's what's hurting them. But like once Raidu's back, maybe they'll have a better batting performance.
And I believe he will be available for next game. There was a message from the owner saying that they will miss one more game. So that's probably today's game. So he'll be back for the next game, which is good for Chennai. But yeah, Chennai has a little bit of thinking to do now. 2 losses for them out of 3 games. So but they have a little bit of time now. They have 4 or 5 days now to just relax and kind of just get their heads wrapped around these two losses, try to figure out what was going wrong, and just try and come back strongly. But yeah, I think that covers the review initially. But who's your player of the match?
Prithvi Shaw for me. I think Rabada also bowled brilliantly, but it was more of like a team bowling performance.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
whole bowling unit bowled really well. But Prithvi Shaw, I think on a slow track to make 60 odd like that or 40 odd balls, I think he should be the player of the match for me. And my predictions so far coming right, like Delhi doing well and
yeah, yeah.
Chennai. And I'm really surprised because of the pitches. So that
Yeah,
means Delhi actually worked really hard
right,
because they're a type of team who wants to go from the first ball. But the
right.
likes of Iyer and Pant are showing a lot of maturity. We saw that today as
Absolutely,
well.
absolutely. I think my prediction because of the pitches was Delhi would not make it.
And
So
that was the
now,
more the more realistic prediction, I feel.
well, I've been proved wrong, I guess, so
Yeah,
far at least. And the 2 out of 2 for them, so
yeah,
they're looking okay. I mean, still early stages in the tournament, of course,
yeah.
but they're looking good. They like maturity in the batting unit, especially with the Indian contingent that they have, is showing a lot of maturity. The bowling unit, especially today, was very very economical. So hats off to them. I mean, Ponting's leading the charge from the back end, of course, and. Pretty much everything going right. I think they learned a lot from that first game when they went blazing first from ball one, and they kind of lost a couple of early wickets, and then they couldn't now come back. But I think hats off to them. I mean, Stoinis saved them last time. They didn't need Stoinis this time, so it's good. Well done to them. I mean, more power, I guess. They didn't continue to do this, and they might make the top four. I'm pretty sure they will. They make the top four if they continue like this. But yeah, your turning point.
Turning point, I'll tell you. The inside edge, Prithvi Shaw on this one, 2 or 3.
Right, early in the match. Early in the
Yeah,
match. Yeah.
yeah, that
No one,
was.
no one appealed. Also,
I
it's
don't
a little bit
know.
surprising over
And
there.
I'm very surprised because there's no crowds.
Yeah, that's
Dhoni is
okay.
amazing at DRS. Like at
Yeah,
least he would have appealed. I don't know. That was
it's a
really
little
weird.
odd. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Shaw, like,
probably
did
the.
you nicked it right? He's like, oh, I'm not sure, but that was a clear nick. Yeah, that
No,
was a turning point.
the moment he did, he turned around. So that little bit of a guilty conscience came into Prithvi Shaw. He turned around right away to kind of see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess yeah, that's that. I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, Delhi doing well. Chennai has a lot of thinking to do. I think that's kind of how we will have to wrap up today's review. Any other thoughts on today's game?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. The way the spinners and the fast bowlers, they're bowling as a team, so it makes it very difficult to chase down scores.
And with Ash coming into this team again
Yeah,
in place of Mishi, I think that kind of gives you that added edge on that
yeah.
bowling unit as well.
I think that's what it is. Their bowling looks strong now
Yeah,
compared to last year. Looks much stronger, so
right,
that's what makes them even more favorites. I think going into the tournament, like going
right.
into uh, the big stage of the tournament.
And they have the likes of Stoinis to come in and bowl an over or two if needed.
Yeah,
Today
yeah,
he was not needed, and he
yeah.
might. And sometimes if someone gets spanked, he can really just
Don't
jump into
remind me,
that.
man. I had him captain today. He played 2 balls. I was waiting for him to come on. He
I
played two
had
balls and then he didn't bowl even one ball. I was like, what the heck is
I had
happening?
I had Karan as captain, so I didn't do very well either. So it's okay. He didn't bat for me,
Yeah,
Karan.
no, I mean, like, if he plays and he gets out, like, you're just frustrated. Here, like, he didn't get the chance. It's like, oh, damn. It's like, those school matches where the young kids don't get to play. It's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It was,
yeah.
but that's good. Like, they don't have to depend on one guy. So from Delhi's perspective, it's really good.
Yeah, yeah. So they didn't need him today. They might need him at some other time when someone like
Definitely.
Gilly
Someone
Pank
stepping up
or
or
an
the
extra
other. Yeah.
bowler.
Yeah.
And that is an issue with Chennai also, I think. They didn't have anybody else that could bowl. Maybe Jadhav a little bit, but that's about it, right? They don't have
Yeah.
anyone else who can really take the bowling. I don't think Watson's bowling. I don't think he has even last year, neither this year. Jadhav's an option, so I guess maybe he needs to also, maybe Dhoni needs to sometimes try, like if Jaddu wasn't working, maybe give an over to Jadhav and see how it works.
Definitely, because
Couple
the
of things
spinner is
that,
the issue. Because if you look at their bowling, Chahar got hit a bit, but
yeah,
Karan and Hazelwood
they were
going
good.
for, yeah, they both so well. They both bowl
Yeah.
really well. So I think that the spin needs to back them up.
Right. I think Jaddu's performance, like you said, I think that's very important. I think that factor with him not performing with the ball is because he's an incredible white ball bowler. I mean, he's really good. He's just not shown this season so far. So we'll see how that goes. But I think yeah, that wraps up today's review. Moving on to the big game, my home team, Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Your team, not
Playing
the home team. Home team played today.
no, my team. My home team, my the only team I support now. But yeah, so Sunrisers taking on Kolkata, and both have started off on a losing note for both of them. So kind of trying to come out of that losing. I mean, two in a row would not be very good for either of them, but one of them is going to have to lose it, obviously. So, what are your thoughts initially on this team?
I mean, for both teams, I think it's going to be important game to win because they'll be deflated. Like it won't be end of tournament. There's still a long way to go. But I think
Yeah.
to just because everyone's winning and losing games, there's some. I think these are the only teams who haven't won so far,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken. So they'll
Yeah.
really want to get off the mark. So it'll be very important in that perspective. I think again. There are weaknesses in both teams. For Sunrisers, they're going to depend a lot on Warner Bairstow.
Yeah.
I don't know what team combination they're going to play, but definitely I would like to see the likes of Khalil in the team.
Yeah.
And maybe Mohammad Nabi.
Mm-hmm.
Mohammad Nabi in place of Mitchell Marsh, who's injured.
Yeah.
They've got Holder, I think, as a
But I don't
replacement.
think
But
he's ready for this game.
yeah, I would play Nabi.
Yeah.
I think that would two changes I would see. From Kolkata's point of view, again, Russell and Narayan. I don't know if Narayan, if he doesn't perform again with the bat, they might have to tinker with that opening pair. And Russell, he didn't get going in the first game, but it'll be important. It'll be interesting to see how he goes on these Dubai pitches. But they do have some excellent players. Kolkata, they have Morgan, and so do Sunrisers. Both teams have some excellent players. On the day, it'll depend. And right now, before we were talking about the Dew, I was thinking Dew will come to play, but now it looks like batting first wins you game. So it'll be interesting.
Almost every game batting first has won a game, except for the first one. I think where Chennai won it. I think everything else, I think batting first has won. So it's a little surprising over there.
I just wanted to ask you a question. Do you think if Nabi coming, do you think that would take the pressure off Rashid Khan because an experienced spin bowler from the other side?
Absolutely. I think we've mentioned this in our preview as well. Like, Rashid can be economical on one end, but we are leaking runs from the other end, and that's created an issue even in the past, and it's going to continue to create an issue until they figure that out. Bhuvi was better in the first game, but the likes of Sandeep and Natarajan kind of got spanked around a little bit, which didn't help. So they have to really think about how they want to go around that. Mitchell Marsh got injured, so they had to try Shankar, who also got a little bit hit a little bit. But yes, I think the like of Nabi coming in will help. And he is probably the obvious replacement at this point because you want that finisher, which they were banking on Marsh to do, but he obviously got injured. Unfortunate for him. That middle order again for Sunrisers remains a big issue for me. They really have to see what they want to do about that.
If you play Williamson, then who would you drop out?
You have to. There's no other choice, right? If you play Williamson, then you have to drop out Garg. You play Manish Pandey at 4 and you go with Shankar because the only reason Shankar...
Which foreign player do you leave out, I mean?
Marsh, right?
So Nabi, no Nabi.
So no Nabi. Yeah, I kind of... But that's the problem. If I do Williamson, I have to play Shankar and I have to play Abhishek Sharma because they give you the bowling options. So 2 overs from each of them and then you have 8, 9, 10 and 11 bowl you the remaining 4 overs. So it gets a little bit tight on the bowling unit. I like I said, I want Kane in this team, but I just don't see how it's going to happen. That's the problem over here because Nabi gives you that all-round capability, so you might need him. Having said that, I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of thinking that Sunrisers need to do. I think Sunrisers have a little bit more thinking to do than Kolkata because I think Kolkata's 11 is set until, like you said, I mean, Narayan doesn't go through another game or two. If he doesn't perform, then they have to think. But I think Kolkata's team they have to pretty much go with the same team that they went in with. The only thing is maybe they consider Nitin Nayak out and Cummins at 7 and maybe have that extra bowler option. That's about it.
Yeah. But that's the thing with Sunrisers, you can look at it as a positive. They do have a lot of combinations they can try. So even if it doesn't work out next game, they still have another combination they can try. So,
but they need to start picking that up quickly because you don't want to lose like 3 or 4 in a row in the beginning. Then you're just catching up all throughout. So that's
definitely. And I think Manish Pandey will play a big role because I would like to see him rotate the strike a bit more. He batted well, but I think he consumed quite a few dot balls. Like he was striking the ball, but straight to the fielder. So I think he'll want to plug the gap because he's a very quick runner between the wickets. So if he can rotate the strike, someone like a Bairstow and Warner will smash it at the other end.
Right. Yeah. I think your player to look out for in each team.
In each team for Kolkata Knight Riders, I want to say Russell because he has a good record against Sunrisers, but let's just go with Pat Cummins.
Ooh, interesting. Nice.
Pat Cummins
for Sunrisers.
For Sunrisers, David Warner.
Of course, yep. I think I agree with Warner on this side because he had unfortunate first game. He got run out in the most unusual circumstances. It rarely happens, but for Kolkata, I want to see Young Gill. I want to see how he goes. I think I'm banking on him having a good tournament. He had a poor first game, but I think takes takes the nerves out of the first game. Kind of, now just gonna get in, and in that's his spot. He has to open. I agree with that. So see, and a little bit rustiness is over. Both of them had their first games out of the way, so now it's probably get ready to kind of go from here and go strong from here for both teams, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that wraps up everything. Any
Your
final thoughts
yeah,
before?
just your prediction for the game.
I can't go against my boys, so I'm gonna go with the Sunriser win. For you?
So I think I share your sentiments.
Yeah.
Sunriser win, but yeah, it'll be a really interesting game. I think it'll be a close game.
Yep. And we will
Hoping for a
catch.
close game. I don't know if
Yep.
it's gonna be close. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we will catch you after the game tomorrow.
Definitely, man. Thank you so
Yep.
much for having me.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.
Bye.